Hello, my name's Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of December 29th of 2014 and one etz-nob or Flint in the Mayan Zolkin calendar with Venus entering Aquarius, followed by Mercury entering Aquarius and the Cancer full moon. December 29th is one etz-nob or Flint, which carries the themes of introspection and reflection, sparks of insight, the self-sacrificing healer, the archetype of Chiron, the spiritual warrior, the knife that can be used to heal or harm, duality, right or wrong, good or evil, fear or faith, east or west, feasting or fasting, woman or man, us or them, leaders or followers, left or right-mindedness. And it reminds me of the story of Chiron, the wounded healer, who gave up his immortality so that Prometheus could be freed from his eternal bondage of being chained to a rock and having an eagle devour his liver by day and then having it regenerate by night, which was his punishment for bringing fire to humans and the spark that comes from Flint. And Flint makes us aware of the illusion of our separateness so that we can transcend duality, to realize that our minds tell us that we are this and that, but our hearts tell us that we just are. Boundaries are a construct of the mind. In Lakesh, I am another you. And before we get into the daily energy for etz-nob, or Flint, or the Flint Trecena, on the 29th, all the planets appear to be moving forward from our vantage point here on Earth, with the exception of Jupiter, which appears to be moving retrograde or in reverse motion. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are the review of the past, reevaluate, reminisce. And we can see these themes being played out. Jupiter is retrograde in Leo, which brings up the review of opportunities, faith, religion, beliefs, and expansion. Leo is about leadership, creativity, drama, entertainment, and children. And mostly what I find with Jupiter retrograde, as with any retrograde cycle, there's a review of the past. And with Jupiter, what gets reviewed are missed opportunities. And since this is a new Gregorian month, and year, obviously, during this Trecena, I thought I'd discuss the metaphysics of the upcoming month. And January is the first month, and with the digits of 2015, when we add them all together, we get 9. So we have a 9-month in numerology. And base numerology reduces numbers to 1 through 9. So when we think about that arc, 9 represents a time of completion. The numerology of January and February 2015 repeat the numerology of November and December of 2014, with January being a 9-month and February being a 1-month. So in January, when folks are wanting to start something new, the numerology is about completing what has begun. And a new 9-month cycle actually begins in February of 2015. As a 9-month, January 2015 is about completing tasks and projects that were initiated in December, and anything that is no longer needed is wrapped up, moved out of the way of the new cycle. This also brings the energy that what has begun must be completed. So this month is a time to tie up loose ends so that we can clean our plate for something new, as events begin to give us hints about a new direction to take. And January is about clearing out old people, places, and things to make room for their new counterparts, which will emerge in February. The 9 represents the hermit archetype in the tarot cards, which is also about completion, contemplation, and introspection. It's the archetype of the wise lantern burner, and the way shower, whose life experience guides others through similar passages. And this quote from Michael de Montaigne of solitude represents the hermit archetype. The finest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. So in January this year of 2015 represents a completion of the numerological cycle to prepare for new beginnings in February, which is supported because we've got Mercury retrograde in January, which is going to be reviewing the past and into February. And then we've got the Chinese New Year in February, highlighting again new beginnings. So let's look at the daily vibrational energy for this Trecena. December 29th is one etz-nob or Flint unity experience through being introspective in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. And I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activities in these reports other than new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth Daily Facebook post and also on the blogger New World Birth blog. The 30th is two Kawak or storm duality experience through recognizing the gifts of adversity in the Zolkin calendar. December 31st is three Ahau or sun, taking action through honoring the wisdom and the memory of our ancestors. And then January 1st of 2015 is for Emish or crocodile, which is about stability through nurturing new beginnings. And at this point, we have Mars opposed by Jupiter. So from our perspective here on Earth, they're at a 180-degree angle to each other, which can go from either way. One way is as being lucky, or it can be a time of conflict and foolish actions. It can bring resentment to anything that narrows your sense of freedom and limits your ability to take action. The best way to use this energy is to be conscious of yourself and your activities so that you can work effectively towards enlightened self-interest as opposed to unconscious selfishness. People who are not conscious may act in a domineering or overbearing manner, and people may foolishly believe that they can accomplish more than what is reasonable, which could lead to accidents in physical activities. And then in business, there's overestimating resources that leads to being unable to meet future commitments. So if we're conscious of our limitations, we can use this to be successful as we have a sense of the correct timing for action and can see the big picture, even if it is complex. January 2nd is 5 Eek or wind, empowerment through communication in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. The 3rd is 6 Akbal or night, which is about being in the flow through contemplating the stars. And at this point, we have Venus entering into Aquarius, which brings sort of a more intellectual, detached influence regarding love, romance, and socializing. Also on the 3rd, the Sun squares Uranus. So from our perspective here on Earth, this is a 90-degree angle. That's what makes it a square. And it's disruptive transit, adding to the likelihoods of upsets and behaviors that are upsetting to others. Also unexpected mechanical problems, a sudden argument or separation within a relationship. With the sun involved, we're talking about conflicts between egos. Folks are more likely to feel restless, so it might be important to be conscious of this possibility and find ways to allow the restless energy to express itself rather than being shocked by how it gets expressed unconsciously. This adds to the accident-prone energy of the transit at this time. This is a time to realize that those accidents are not happening to you, that you're actually creating them. So again, the more conscious you can be of the energy, the less likely that you'll encounter these problems. The drive to do something that's free and liberating is very strong. Just try to exercise enough consciousness to give it expression without causing damage in your life. And then also on the 3rd, the sun merges with Pluto. So From our perspective here on Earth, the Sun and Pluto are at the same degree of Capricorn, which illuminates underlying experiences, usually of a dark nature that leads to fundamental evolutionary changes from within. This can bring the power of changes that we see as major occurrences in the world, with themes of growth, evolution, decay, and death, along with rebirth and regeneration. And some of us may have to contend with a person who's trying to exert unreasonable power over us, which will likely force us to defend our right to do things in a way that is correct for us. With Pluto, there may be hidden elements that have powerful ramifications. It's a good day to avoid areas where you're likely to encounter any kind of street crime. And then January 4th, we have 7 Con or seed or lizard. This is about reflection through planting seeds and making new connections. And at this point, we've got Mercury moving into Aquarius, which shifts our focus of communication and thinking to social consciousness, while being true to our individuality and to share our inventive ideas with groups and communities. Also on the 4th, we have the Cancer full moon at 14 degrees of Cancer, supported by Neptune, challenged by Uranus, opposed by Pluto and the Sun. And these transits underscore the themes of our innermost subconscious fantasies and daydreams, confusing reality, which may not be great for accomplishing much work, with folks acting hasty and jumping to conclusions that may not be correct, and deep emotions rising to the surface, leading to the full moon's time of tension, as the Sun in Capricorn is about work, career, and who we are in the outer world, and trying to find balance with the home, nurturing, and our inner emotional world, represented by the moon in Cancer, which forms a T-square to Uranus at the head. So this can bring unpredictability in this 90-degree angle between the moon opposite Sun, Pluto, and at both that axis making a square, a 90-degree angle to Uranus. Also on the 4th, we've got Venus over here in a sextile to Saturn. So from our perspective here on Earth, this is a 60-degree angle. This pleasantly encourages us to take responsibilities in our relationships in a positive way, as there's a sense of gratification in being of service to our loved ones. And what's good for the group is more important on the 4th, and people work to further those ideals, even if it means some level of self-denial. This is a good time to talk with your loved one about your expectations for each other in the relationship. This is practical energy, which favors business affairs and commerce, particularly with art and other things of beauty. This is also good for creativity that demands close attention to detail. And then on the 5th, we've got 8 Chichan or serpent, balance, excuse me, through being flexible, with at that point Mercury in a sextile to Saturn, as it's traveling right on the heels of Venus, which is Mercury sextile Saturn is great for constructive criticism that comes from being able to see what can be improved in our surrounding environment. We are very conscious of flaws, including our own, so we can use our critical eye to look at what should be changed to bring improvement. This can be very serious in its pursuit of betterment. Just make sure that you're honoring what is positive and not getting overwhelmed by the many imperfections that are in view with this transit. Older people may serve as teachers and mentors at this time. So this is nice energy for working carefully on any mental task from a place of concentration and precision. Whereas activities that require a great scope of vision may be more difficult. This is about the details rather than the overall pattern. So it's difficulty seeing the forest for the trees. We can see the trees really well, but we can't see the overall forest very well. January 6th is 9 Kimi, or transformation in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. Patience experienced through releasing what no longer serves us. The 7th is 10 Manik, or deer, manifestation through being a service to others. The 8th is 11 Lamat, or star or rabbit, which is about resolution through being grateful for abundant relationships in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. The 9th is 12 Maluk, or offering, understanding through appreciating creation. And January 10th is 13 Ak, or dog, movement to the next stage through enjoying family and friends in the Zolkin calendar. And no matter what energies are affecting you during this one Flint Trisena, take some time to be in the flow of nature, watching a sunrise or a sunset, or communing with the stars, or being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or just really being very conscious when you're with somebody that you love. Every day we have, it truly is a blessing, no matter what dramas beckon to distract us. We're all here just giving the performance of our lifetime on the world stage. Just take some time to observe the play as well as act your part by remembering you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of the care and feeding of a new world age will be on January 11th of 2015 for one Shuin, or monkey, with Mars entering Pisces, the Sun entering Aquarius, followed by the Aquarius new moon, and Mercury turning retrograde. So you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or the Mayan Magics website. And I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you have any questions or wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings and wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So I've created 3 options with 3 levels of compensation. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. You'll need to either be able to call me in Maine, in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to help keep these reports freely available. And as I've said before, getting a reading is a wonderful way to make a donation, but we accept any type of donation as well. And if you email me, I will give you instructions on how you can do that. And readings, typically when I offer a reading, we look at your human design chart to really figure out who is the character in your play. And then we look at the astrological transits to find out what are the scenes that character is going through. And of course, your lines in the play are always going to be your strategy and authority from human design. As always, I'm blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application in our journey through in this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and much gratitude that you connected with these offerings, and look forward to connecting with you, perhaps in a reading, perhaps in a future video, or if you email me with some question, that's good too. Anyway, blessings to everyone. Thanks for everything. Peace.